the tape wasn't as bad as I thought it was. So we did some good things. We did a lot better good things defensively than I thought we did. Um, I think my frustration or not thinking that we played as well as we did was we weren't able to score the ball. But then if you look at our team and you got 31 points of your scoring's out. So it was a new thing for all our guys. I thought we got good bench minutes from X and Firstinger. I thought Elijah played really unselfish, took some good shots, played within himself, which was good to see. And then our point guards continue to mature and get better. So, all in all, I thought it was a pretty good game. Glad to get it out of the way. Good celebration, but now we got to go forward and play our first true road game at Illinois State. 3 starters back, 2 kids from junior college that are starting for them. So it'll be a tough contest for us just because we don't know what's going on with our health. We'll practice today. Tim and Sam will not practice, so you guys are more than welcome to come to practice, but please don't put up any red flags because I don't know anything yet. So we'll practice without them today, and then we'll head out tomorrow morning and practice there. So hopefully we'll know a little bit more, but we're just trying to prepare for a tough game. They're picked high in the Missouri Valley. It's a tough test for us. We'll have to go in there and play good defense. We'll not be able to. Can't turn the ball over, and we got to get a shot on goal every time. So it'll be a tough challenge for us, but we need it, and we're looking forward to it.
If Tim doesn't go, do you expect to use more like Connor?
Yeah, I think we'll use Connor. I think I don't know what we'll do. I haven't really come to the conclusion if he doesn't go because I've been pretty optimistic. I don't want to. You start thinking about it, then it happens. So, it depends. They're big, so I might go with Joe. I think Joe's earned it. And then bring X off the bench. I don't know that yet because they'll go small quickly, and we'll have to make an adjustment to that. I'm just afraid if I start X, thinking out loud, that when they sub, we can only go big. So, that's some things I'll have to look at tonight.
Can you elaborate on what Joe and Connor, those guys, have done well to kind of warrant getting in there?
Well, I think Joe's just played with a high level of energy. I think our biggest things, I talked about it before the season. We needed to be better defensively. We needed to communicate, and we needed not to turn it over. I think we've made progress in 2 of them. One of them we haven't made that much. So we have a bigger picture. We have a bigger picture of, competing, playing at a high energy level, playing with effort. But I think it's paralysis by analysis. I think some of our guys are overloaded. For the first time in my career, I'm going to limit the menu offensively and kind of get situated on some things that I know we can execute and I know we'll do well in. Not as much as we have. If you cut it down from 78 to 22, that's a big cut. So I'm gonna seriously do that because I think we have a lot of guys that are frozen, and it's my job to figure that out and kind of release them to let them play. So we'll work on that. And we'll get pretty precise on that and see where it goes from there.
Whether or not Tim does play, can you kind of expand on how he affects the offense? I know you say inside out and stuff like that, but what exactly is it doing for the guards that prevents them from succeeding as much when Tim's not in there?
I think it was culture shock for them. I think when you have a guy that you go to and we run plays to and you don't have guys – I thought Connor did a great job last night. I thought we threw it into Connor similar to we did to Tim. I just think there's a little bit bigger security blanket with Tim. And, when you've proven yourself and do certain things, I think your teammates feed off of that. I think they got complete confidence in Connor and but and Joe, I just don't think we throw it to those guys like we do Tim. I mean, when you're running specific plays to get Tim the ball and your offense revolves around Tim, I think that's a little bit of a different shock for them.
And the guards then, they seem to get – they're not getting as many open shots on the outside when Tim's not in there because the defenses don't play you guys the same?
Well, I think they get open shots. I think they take quick shots. I think they can get open shots. I think Joe did a nice job. Last night we threw it into him a couple times. I mean, he's only 8 for 8 for the season, which is really good. So, I mean, he made some plays in the post that they might not have post doubled like they did Tim. They might not have came and given us open shots. So, you know, those guys are going to have to continue to make plays. And if they continue to make plays, then it's going to make people – they're just not as proven. And that when you're not as proven, other coaches aren't going to really scout for that.
A lot of the talk coming into the season was about the fact that you had two stars. You guys had 2 first-team all-conference guys. How does that affect the development of the other guys and their I guess confidence on the offensive end? And then when one of them struggles like Elijah was early, and now Tim gets taken out of the game and maybe hurt, is it now that they need to step up, or?
Well, I think anytime somebody gets hurt and you have 2 starters that are hurt that you don't know are going to play, somebody's got to step up. It's like next man in. I don't know how much confidence, Jeff, that I don't know if it has anything to do with confidence. We're scoring 78 points a game, but you have a game that we scored 105, so that's a small sample size. But if you watch our guys play, I don't think any of them have lost their confidence because they're all willing to shoot. So some shots not better than others, but you know, I think our guys off the bench that, you know, with Damian and Dane, they just haven't shot the ball well. I think, you know, they're willing to take shots, they're willing to make plays. So hopefully they'll get more relaxed, and the smaller sample size offensively might help them.
What does it take to enable your offense to get up in the early offense, fast breaking?
Well, I think we got to get defensive stops. You know, if you look at our 7 games, we break it down in 4-minute games. In our first 7 games, we're giving up 8 points the first 4 minutes of every game. Is that who we're starting? Is that, you know, so we've had to take a serious look at that. But you can't give up 8 points the first 4 minutes of games. And if you do that, you're not going to get out in transition. And for us to get out in transition, we have to get stops. And we can't get like 1 or 2 stops. We have to get consecutive stops. So if we can do better defensively and get stops, then I think we'll be okay, able to get out in transition. But when we don't and we're taken out of the net, we're not near as good.
Is that a desire of yours to run?
Yeah, we always wanted to run, but you know, depending on what happens with injuries and what we're going to have to do whatever it takes to win. So we've played really slow paces before. We've played really fast paces before, but I think we're playing at a pretty fast-paced clip right now.
You have to be happy with the 16 assists considering you only made 22 baskets.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good.
It's pretty good. So, you know, we had the last 4 minutes, I don't know if we made a field goal. So I think guys are sharing the ball. I thought yesterday's game was the type of game we need to play when we move the ball. Our problem is when the ball sticks on one side of the floor and somebody's dribbling it too much or trying to make a play for themselves. We got to move the ball and try to get more people involved. And when we do that, then we'll have those numbers. But, you know, the one thing that they've done a good job is they haven't turned it over.
You guys obviously have a situation where you have a lot of guys from the Midwest. You're from the Midwest. You guys try and have one of these games every year. I know this game kind of fell in your lap because it's part of the challenge, the Missouri Valley Conference Challenge. But when you guys go back to these games, how much of a distraction is it to the players sometimes? You guys have done pretty well in these games, actually. I mean, Valpo was good, but
Valpo was good. I thought we played pretty good at Purdue. I thought we played a really good team at Purdue. Cincinnati we won. I think it's a little bit, we try to get everything done beforehand. So we'll try to have all our tickets and everything before we leave tomorrow. That's not easier said than done. But it's a little bit, but it's good for those guys to play against, you know, in front of their families and people come make the trip. So it's always good to go back and it's always good for my players to go back close to home so they can see people because a lot of their friends and family don't get out here as much. So it's good in that aspect. Puts them probably in a better frame of mind.
And as far as you know, I mean, are there going to be a friend or a family for all the guys from that area? I mean, Tim, Sam, Damian?
A lot. More than you would think. So we'll have some ticket issues, I'm sure. there'll be some limits.
Playing in the Emerald Coast Classic next year.
Right.
What do you like about that tournament? What sort of advantages does it give you?
Well, the reason why we did that is because it gives us 2 home games. We'll play 2 games down there. Good field, Maryland, TCU, and St. Bonaventure. 4 really good teams with us. But it also gives us 2 home games that scheduling has become very difficult for us. And there's a stipulation in where their RPI has to be for the other 2 games. Plus, it gives us 2 more games that we haven't had, like when we played in the Wooden Classic. Now we're looking at other things and other tournaments we're about done for, and trying to get scheduled out to 2020, 2021. But that one gives us 2 home games, which will help us and play 2 more games in the pit. So look, you're going to play 2 away, but you're going to get 2 here, and usually you had to play 3 away and not get another one. So it's almost like playing like we did last year. We played in Hawaii, and we got Northern Iowa. Well, we don't have to play in Hawaii for 3 games. Northern Iowa came here, so we're going to get 2 of those games and only have to play 2 at an exempt deal. So it's good that way.
With that, I haven't seen the bracket. If you're fortunate to beat Illinois State, who's next? The possibility of the next game.
Illinois State or next year? Illinois State's just a 1 game.
Oh,
It's just a 1 game. It's a Missouri Valley Challenge. It's just home and home. Last year we played Northern. It was Loyola at home. This year we had to go on the road, so we got Illinois State. Now next year, with our schedule, Arizona coming in here and going to UTEP, we'll get a home game in the Missouri Valley. So that's kind of how that operates.
Does that count as 1 game like the 3-game exempt tournaments?
Mm-hmm.
So you guys will have a 32-game schedule next year?
We'll have 1 extra game. We'll have 1 extra game. Yeah, 1 extra game. So you get 2 at home and 2 there.
And can you add the 2 that you play there like you can
No.
in the normal 3? You
No,
can't add
because it's
sorry.
not. Yeah, because you're going to get your 4, because you're going to get the 2 games home and then 2 games there.
You mentioned not turning it over. There was like a 16-minute stretch of that game yesterday where we didn't have a single turnover.
Mhm.
Crossing over at halftime. What did they do better?
I don't know how. I don't think we played very fast. I don't think we played at a very high pace. So that'll lead to not turning it over. But I think they're really concentrated on not turning the ball over, so that helps. But I thought we were really solid last night. I thought they did a nice job. We didn't take a lot of chances. We ran the offense. We moved the ball. And when we do that, not try to play one side, we don't turn it over as much. I don't think they're taking as many chances in transition, which is good. But hopefully we can get easier baskets, a lot more easier baskets than we did last night, because we only scored 64. So I think the turnover situation kind of correlates to the score. So, if the higher the score, I think the more turnovers you're going to have. That's just my opinion.
I can see them be able to play faster. And
A
still
little
take
bit
care of
faster
the
and
ball.
keep it like that. But
Are you still saying you just thought your team was a little tired?
I thought played a little role on us. Not for sure, but I think it played a little role, because what happens is you played Sunday and you're done at 3, and then they don't get on a plane. We leave Anaheim at 10:30, get on a plane, don't get back here till 4. You could bring them here to Jernham, and then the problem is they sit around from, we took them to dinner, but they sit around that whole time because you don't get them back, and that plays a role. That plays a role, and it's like I tell them all the time on their days off, if they procrastinate with their schoolwork and they try to cram all their schoolwork on their off day, then they're just going to fry their brain. I mean, they're just going to zap their energy because they've waited and procrastinated this whole time. They're going to do all this homework in one day. They have to treat their day off like a normal day. You just don't have practice. They got to get up and get moving. They got to eat. They got to move around. They can't just. I don't know about you guys, but when I lay in bed for a long time, or I get sore when I get up. But I'm old. But if they don't get their blood moving and get going and get going in their life, and they just lay around, they're going to be lethargic, and that's been a little bit of issue for our guys.
Did you feel that the players, I know there's a couple of them that had 3-point shots that they just didn't take them. I don't know, like I thought Kuiper and Hunter had some shots, wide open shots, and instead they did drive to the basket, but Do you think they're not confident because, or I just noticed that in the game?
Well, I think Dane's confident because the first time he touched it, he shot an NBA shot on the first play of the game. So I don't think he's lacking confidence. I think he was just trying. He probably had some openings and wanted to make a play on the basket, and he made some nice plays on the basket and got fouled. I think Jordan's concentrating on running the team. I think he's got to pick his spots. I think he didn't shoot it very well in the Dayton game, so that might have something to do with it. But I think they're pretty confident.
So you want them to shoot?
Oh yeah, yeah. Want them to shoot. Want them to shoot. Can't shoot them for them. Wish I could.
X was talking about how, they just haven't really found, like, a lot of slow starts. You guys just really haven't found, like, pregame to, like, really get the team going. Do you see that? Do you
Oh, yeah.
see
It's
something like that, get these kids going?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it has to do with how you approach the first 4 minutes. And we went as far as watching every play and every tape. We went every where we've choreographed the first 4 plays, but that group's got to do a better job. And if it continues that way, then we'll have to change it.
You mentioned him last night, you mentioned him earlier, but especially since I kind of singled him out earlier in something I wrote about earlier this week. Elijah's game last night, was that the best you've seen him play so far this year?
Yeah, I thought it
wasn't
was.
points, but
Yeah, I did. I thought it was his best game defensively when we look at it and put a read to it. I thought that was his best defensive game. I thought he played really under control within himself. Now, there's some shots that normally fall for him that didn't go in, but I think he's getting back to playing. I thought he was really good in attack mode. I thought he made some good cuts, but defensively, it's by far his best game.
Is he a guy that you think is, I guess the health question, I mean, is he still making up for the health thing? Is he
What do you
doing
mean
things
making
different?
up?
Well, is he doing things different? Is he playing differently because it's still bothering him? Or is he just trying to play catch up?
I don't think he'll lead on if it's bothering him or not. I think it's got to have some sort of effect where that injury is. The only thing I can say is I just kind of try to watch him run, and you can kind of see when he's, trying to get going and when it's bothering him and when it's not. So, hopefully it continues to get well. I know he's treating it every day, but there's gonna be some effects.
And then one more follow-up on that is he's not getting to the foul line quite as much as last year, and it looked like for a while he was kind of
Thanks to
leaning
your
on-
article.
Well, he doesn't seem to be maybe flailing as much. He doesn't seem to be kicking out as much on jumpers. Is that cutting back, or is he still doing that a little too much?
I think he's missed some shots because he's
Looking for the foul.
yeah. I think he's.
He was good at that last year, so I mean,
Yeah, I think he's got some hitches that you can watch when it doesn't look fluid, but he's going to have to adapt.
It seems like all his shots are short though. They're always hitting at the end of the rim. Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with him maybe trying to get fouled and maybe not. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of the they're all short. It seems like most of them are anyway.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is he's just got to concentrate on making shots. If he gets fouled, he gets fouled, and he's got to continue. And I know he works. He's a tireless worker. He's always in that gym trying to figure it out, trying to work on it, and he'll get it figured out. But I think yesterday was a good barometer on where he's going and what he's doing. If he'll continue to take those type of shots within the offense and ball movement, he'll get it figured out. Is that good? Appreciate it, y'all.